Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us on Election Day. It's Tuesday and the 23rd, and if you're awaiting your results, you're going to be waiting much longer. We'll talk briefly about the election tonight with just a few details on the process and how it has gone from what I have read relatively smoothly across New York and the state of Kentucky, both of which today having primarily primary paper elections. We'll have some bits of information for you in regards to the election, the process, which is not going to be over until essentially this time next week. But we'll also have some other news as well. That also includes some 54 indictments I have on my desk. We'll touch briefly on a few of those tonight and cover many of the others on the program starting as soon as tomorrow. I've also got a long list of very important stories that we've covered in the past several days, anticipating updates and waiting on some information. Let's go into that right now and tell you what I don't have to tell you essentially at this hour. I did speak with Sheriff Doug Saylor earlier today, specifically his office and Deputy Bill Meade, inquiring about the human skull which was discovered there days ago. The Sheriff's Office still conducting their investigation. They are gearing up to do another search with dogs and human teams. However, they are still awaiting results from the state medical examiner's office. As I understand, that skull actually forwarded on to another facility from there for possibly identifying it through some characteristics that the sheriff did not go into, but that he hopes will give them an identity, but they have not heard anything back, so no word yet on that human skull found in Johnson County days and days ago. I also reached out to the coroner's office today, as well as the Kentucky State Police, and either didn't hear anything back or they had no information to add on the death investigation of Jerry Arnott, who was found shot on Rowan Road, of course, over the course of the weekend, and that investigation is still ongoing, but at this hour, I have nothing new to report, except to say, once again, we do have funeral service announcements in our obituaries tonight for 78-year-old Jerry Arnott, who was found in the driveway of a Porter residence with what appeared to be, as what I understand unofficially, multiple gunshot wounds. The state police have still only referred to this as a death investigation and not that of a homicide. However, we expect, of course, that to change. And in regards to the assault and arson case that started yesterday morning on Sugar Camp in Dixie, where a gentleman by the name of Frank Ross apparently says authorities very high on some sort of drug torched one trailer to the ground when another set it ablaze with himself barricaded inside. He assaulted, as I told you last night, numerous firefighters and EMS, sending 3 to the hospital for stitches, including Fire Chief Paul Howard, as they tried to remove him from the burning structure. In the end, they tore off the end of the mobile home with a backhoe to retrieve him, using everything from the fire hose to mace and other methods on him to get him into custody. He was arrested, taken into custody, but taken to the hospital, and as I understand, is still in the intensive care unit. And as a result of his hospital stay, I am told by authorities that he is to be cited, and should he recover, he will be able to be released from the hospital and then be subject of an indictment at a later time. That's all I have on the things that I don't have, or have the updates that I do have. We now have 54 indictments from the sitting Johnson County grand jury. I'm just going to go over a few of those tonight. That will include Sagersville residents, which were included therein. But there were indictments for everything from kidnapping to strangulation, theft, trafficking, and other charges. 2 Johnson Countyans, 2 of the indictments that I'll cover tonight, have been indicted on charges of defrauding the federal government of over $100,000, collecting benefits that the government says they were not entitled to for years. The first 2 Sagersville people were indicted in complicity with each other, beginning with 35-year-old Ginger Blair of Sagersville for receiving stolen property and in possession of a controlled substance in the first degree complicity, facing up to 3 years on that count, and another 12 months for possession of a controlled substance in the third degree and possession or use of drug paraphernalia. She was said to be in possession of a stolen firearm, specifically a Smith & Wesson 9mm that was stolen from the Pink Elephant Pawn Shop in Prestonsburg, as well as a quantity of methamphetamine and Suboxone and an altered pop can with a chemical residue inside. She was indicted alongside another Sagersville person, that being this man, Brian Perkins of Sagersville, who was also indicted on the same charges with the exception of being indicted for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as well as the other charges of possession in the first for the meth, possession in the third for the Suboxone, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Blair was ordered held on a $5,000 bond. 36-year-old Perkins was ordered held on a $10,000 bond. 40-year-old Kathleen Howard of Sagersville was indicted on 2 charges, one of promoting contraband in the first degree and possession of controlled substance in the first degree, this for being in possession of methamphetamine while being booked into the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, I believe on charges of public intoxication. She was ordered held on a $5,000 bond. A Johnson County man, Gary Richmond of Flat Gap, was indicted on a single count of possession or viewing of matter portraying a sexual performance by a minor. This goes back to a report that we aired earlier here on Your News Today some weeks ago, where after a thorough investigation, he was found to be in possession of numerous electronic files on various devices depicting minor children engaging in sexual performances. That investigation led to his arrest and now his indictment from the Johnson County grand jury, indicted on a count of possession of matter portraying a minor in a sexual performance. And lastly, a Sitka couple have been indicted on frauding the government out of over $100,000 in benefits that they were not entitled to according to the indictment. James Derrick Fields and Misty Fields, both of Sitka, indicted for defrauding the government either through false misrepresentation or failure to disclose material facts used in determining a person's qualification for benefits, regardless, receiving $109,176.28 worth of benefits from a period of January the 13th of 2014 through January the 9th of 2019 while living in Johnson County. Both indicted on a single count, complicit with each other, facing up to 10 years in prison and a fine of no more than $10,000. Both were ordered held on a $10,000 cash bond. Once again, that was Misty Fields and James Derrick Fields of Sitka. Something else coming up on the program, perhaps learning more as soon as tomorrow. We are awaiting the guidelines that will be set by school districts and our state in regards to our kids getting back to school in some form or fashion in not so long later on this fall. There's a great likelihood that students will be expected to wear face masks in school when buildings are reopened in the fall. That's what Kentucky Education Commissioner Kevin Brown told school superintendents in a virtual session yesterday. Our Kentucky school superintendents are scheduled to talk to our governor tomorrow to have announced or hear the announced public school health recommendations for the 2020-2021 school year. So we anticipate learning something possibly as soon as tomorrow as to what the state is going to advise our school districts in regards to school classes being back in session this fall. So look for that and a host of other updates that I referred to at the beginning of the program later on, and look for more headlines after this.
I'm Hal Rogers, and I approve this message.
He fights for the mountains, for life, and for our president. He's Congressman Hal Rogers. When the world seems shaky, you need steady, proven leadership that delivers. Relief for workers and small businesses, holding China accountable for what they did, getting our economy moving again, and fighting the opioid crisis. That's Congressman Hal Rogers. Pro-life, pro-Trump, and pro-Kentucky.
Appalachian Wireless, this is Bobby. How may I help you?
I'm visiting my sister in Lomansville this weekend. Will I have service?
Of course. We have several towers in Lawrence County.
Appalachian Wireless, this is Megan.
Where's my nearest store? I'm in Bright Shade.
That would be our store in Manchester. Would you like the address?
I just moved to Pineville. I'm sure you don't know where that is. Will I still have service?
Yes, ma'am. That's down in southeastern Kentucky. We do service your area.
When you call us, it's as easy as calling your friend or neighbor because we are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by. For huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
All Pro understands that we are all just trying to make it through these most difficult of times, and they want you to know that they're here to help with any repairs or projects that you need done. Big or small, doesn't matter. They've got 0% financing for 18 months and long-term financing if you need it. If you need anything from a new gutter to a new house or a new garage, call All Pro Gutter Works and Construction, 349-9999.
Bob Hutcherson here for Hutch Cheap in Paintsville. What does your vehicle say about you? Anyone that owns a Jeep knows the answer to that question. Right now, payments as low as $399 on select new 2020 Jeep Renegades and Dodge Journeys. Enjoy your life in a new Jeep from Hutch, and that comes with a guarantee.
You'll never pay too much when you buy from Hutch. HUTCH.com.
Well, the polls are closed, but it doesn't look like we're going to know much about the election until next Tuesday. There may be some preliminary numbers later, possibly with early absentees being counted that have been received by clerk's offices across the Commonwealth. But those offices do not have to, primarily to make way or time for our two largest cities, do not have to put that information in for several days. So it's likely that we're not going to know the Senate race, specifically on the Democratic side, one of the few contested races at this time, or any other outcomes until next week. Certainly not talking about the ads or anything of that nature. In other respects, one of the quieter elections and an election of historic proportions, as the pandemic has, of course, dictated in all walks of life. If you got your absentee in the mail by today, it will be counted. Now, before, in any other normal election, any absentee had to be received by today. That's not how this election is going to work. Any absentee postmarked, put in the post office today before 4 o'clock, well, they will be counted if they are received by this Saturday at 6. So that's how it's going to work. If they were to take the long way around through the Postal Service or anything of that nature and not be received in your respective county clerk's office before Saturday at 6, they won't be counted. But to allow that to hopefully not happen, they have extended the time or deadline till Saturday at 6. So all absentees postmarked today and received by 6 o'clock this Saturday are to be counted in this primary election. And again, as for the outcome, we more than likely will not know until next Tuesday the 30th because, well, mainly considering Louisville and Lexington, the two largest Kentucky cities, having to count so many paper ballots and giving them time to do so, they will not be submitting their totals until June the 30th, as most clerk's offices have the same time frame to do. Some will submit theirs before then, but as I understand, no election results will be released until next Tuesday, June the 30th. And in case you're wondering and curious, as was I, how this is going to affect turnout, well, I saw earlier today a statement from our Secretary of State, Michael Adams, who said that turnout for today's primary could set a record. He's basing that information on the early number of absentee ballots that have been requested, not received yet because those haven't been counted, but requested. And using that data, he was putting turnout close to 30% today, which, is sad to say that we're calling that a record high, but he says you should take into consideration that just last year, with the governor's races on the ballot drawing a lot of interest in Kentucky, turnout for the election, the primary election, was 19%. So, indeed. Adams also said that he expects somewhere around 1 million ballots to be cast. I did speak with Renee Arnott Shepherd's office earlier today. They had been busy, but they said that it had gone very, very well. Voters were allowed to come into the courthouse, cast their paper ballot, and be counted during today's election. They're still counting, of course, at this hour, those absentees and going through that process. So hopefully on tomorrow's program, we'll be able to catch up with them and see exactly how well it went. But voting did seem to go as smoothly all across Kentucky, even in Louisville at the Kentucky Exposition Center, where it was fearful that voters would be lined up for hours and hours. They described it as a process of no standing, still just a constant line of those going in to vote. New York also, as I said earlier today, having an election by the same means, they too reported that it had gone very well to that point. I think it's time for tonight's community calendar. I've got a lot of birthdays on it. It's all brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Indeed, a big bunch of birthdays today. Let's start with Jeff. Jeff, from a long list and lots of family and friends, all the folks at the Kearney Free Will Baptist Church, Lakefront Church of God, they all want to wish you the happiest of birthdays. Happy birthday, Jeff Tackett. Happy birthday to you. And the big C is the big 7-0 today. Carter Conley from Viv, Robbie, family, friends, squad members, we here at Your News Today. Happy 70th birthday to Carter Conley. Happy birthday to you, my friend. Hope you've had a good one. The list goes on. Bessie, your birthday was called in yesterday, and I had some problems with the calendar. It's belated. It's on me. Happy birthday, Bessie Brown. Love, friends, and family. Happy birthday to you. And today, Michelle, I'm told you'll know who you are, from friends and family as well. Happy birthday, Michelle. Happy birthday to you, too. An announcement from the mayor's office. The Ramey Park is going to be closed nightly at 7. Gates will be locked promptly by Sagersville Police at 9 o'clock each night in lieu of the pandemic, some recent activity, and other concerns. So keep that in mind. Don't want to get yourself or your vehicle locked in at the park. They'll be closing it up 9 o'clock each night. And we'll close down the calendar by reminding you this is how you get announcements on the show. Call me, or any other way you can get it to me. I'll tell everyone else about it. Funeral services brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home include those for Leneva Poe Arnott, who passed away on Saturday at the age of 99. She's survived by her children, Ann Warren, Helen Northcutt, and locally Grover Arnott of Burning Fork here in Sagersville, as well as 5 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-grandkids. Funeral services in her honor are going to be held tomorrow morning at 11 from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Visitation is tonight from 6 to 8 o'clock. Virginia Dare Salyer Minix, 77, of Little Road in Royalton, passed away on Sunday. The daughter of the late Buford and Alberta May Salyer, husbands Elwood Fletcher and Ray Minix, and her daughter Ruth preceded her in death. She's survived by sons Donald Fletcher and Jimmy Dwayne Fletcher, daughter Annette Fletcher Bailey, brothers Ronnie Salyer and Doug Salyer and John Salyer, and sisters Carol Sue Day and Roxanne Banks and Cindy McBride, as well as 4 grandkids and 10 great-grandkids. Funeral services for Virginia Dare Salyer Minix will be held this Thursday in the morning at 11 o'clock from the Sagersville Funeral Home. The family will welcome friends for visitation Wednesday evening from 5 until 10, and any time prior to the services the following morning. And we now have the complete listing for 80-year-old Shirley Minix Carty of Sagersville, who passed away on Monday in yesterday's date. She was the daughter of the late William Bill and Virgie Virginia Minix. She survived by her husband Herbert Carty, as well as her 3 sons, Joshua, David, and Ray Carty, and 5 daughters, Carrie Allen, Donna Mullins, Mary Pence, Melissa Ritchie, Charlotte Newsom, and 4 brothers and 7 sisters. Funeral services for Shirley are going to be held this Thursday at 1 from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Burial will follow at the Carty Cemetery at Stinson. Visitation will be Wednesday evening from 6 until 9 and Thursday before services. 89-year-old Lucian E. King of Royalton Road passed away on Monday, the son of the late Luther and Jesse Burton King. He survived by his wife, Jewel Bailey King, son Harold King, brother Forrest King, as well as sisters Genova Harvey, Viola Mullins, and 2 grandchildren. Services for Mr. Lucian King will be held this Friday morning at 11 at the Sagersville Funeral Home. Visitation will be Thursday evening after 6 and then prior to funeral services. And lastly, tonight, 78-year-old Gerald Jerry Arnott of Sagersville passed away on Friday, survived by his wife Louise Joseph Arnott and 2 sons, Mark Daniel Arnott and Donna Ray Arnott. A private graveside service for immediate family will be held at a later time. There is never a good time for a breakdown. They will happen, and your car at some point is going to need some repairs and maintenance. And Black Smoke Performance is open and here with professional, fast, safe service. And just in time for warm weather, they now have certified full air conditioning, diagnostics, and repair to keep you cool in whatever you drive. Black Smoke Performance, 349-8785. Car accidents don't stop. Accidents at work don't stop. Disability and SSI cases don't stop. Your legal needs and concerns don't stop for the coronavirus, and neither does McFarland and Tinker. They are open, able to schedule appointments per CDC guidelines, and always available for telephone and video conferences. Please, be safe, be smart, stay home, and don't let your legal needs fall victim to the pandemic. Call McFarland and Tinker and let them take care of them for you. Come to Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville and get your prescriptions filled, your over-the-counter medications, and immune system boosters, all from the safety and comfort of your own vehicle, either in their drive-thru or with their new curbside service. You can also call ahead or just download the MyGNP app, that's Good Neighbor Pharmacy, and refill and manage your prescriptions right from your device, helping you and yours stay healthy and safe. Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville, 349-4400. The seasonal shop is open, and they're still doing curbside pickup, so you can call and place orders, and they'll still bring them out to you. And inside, you'll find all new merchandise throughout the entire store, all new spring and summer women's clothing from Charlie Page and Mud Pie, accessories, jewelry, shoes, and bags too, casual outfits for everyday or special occasion outfits and dresses. And if you've been home a lot and really want to freshen up your decor, they have so much to choose from, and they're happy to give you any fresh ideas that you might need. And just in, a large selection of Simply Southern and Candleberry at Fraser's Prater Drugs seasonal shop in downtown Sayersville. Back by popular demand and with a new set of coupons starting next week, you've got this week to take advantage of the $5 off coupon in the Sayersville Independent. And you can get a free coupon with a free paper when you stop by your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe. That $5 coupon is good for any 16-piece or 20-piece family pack. That is chicken with all the fixins, chicken any way you like it. Famous crispy oven roast. However, $5 off. Get the coupon, get the meal, feed everyone, make them happy, and save money and time as well. Only at your Sayersville Lee's.
Earl Justice here for Hutch Ford in Paintsville and West Liberty. Our summer sale has the biggest discounts, lowest interest rates, and the biggest trade-ins ever.
Right now you can get 0% financing on all Ford models. Plus Hutch Ford is lining up to $1,000 above Kelley Blue Book trade-in value. We really want your trade-in.
And remember the Hutch Guarantee.
You'll never pay too much when you buy from Hutch. HutchAutoGroup.com.
Times have changed. Now and suddenly, more than ever. Our lobbies might be closed, but the Sayersville National Bank wants to remind our customers that we're still here, we're still working to provide our community with as many services as possible. During this time especially, we encourage all of our customers to take advantage of all the options we offer to manage your accounts from the convenience of your home. 24-hour internet banking and bill pay, 24-hour telephone banking, remote deposit, automatic loan payments, and wire transfers are also still available to our customers. And we're still here during our normal hours. Mondays through Fridays, the main drive-thru is open from 8 until 3, and the branch drive-thru is open from 8 until 5. And the branch drive-thru is also open on weekends, Saturdays 8 until noon, with ATMs available 24/7 at both locations. So we need to cover the pandemic briefly tonight, and it's as bound of a brief of an evening as I've had since the pandemic began, partly due to the governor not having an official press release earlier today. I'll get to the numbers for today, though, in just a few seconds. I spoke with Magoffin County Public Health Director Mayor Pete Shepard a few moments ago. No new positive cases to report here in Magoffin County. Magoffin County is starting to close in on the 1,000 mark threshold in regards to number of tests, but still a little ways away. But he says that no new positives today. The mayor also did, as I announced in the calendar, just to give you a little more detail, asked me to announce that the Ramey Park will be locked up each night at 9 o'clock. He says crowds have been gathering there, mostly our kids and young people with nowhere else to go, but in very large numbers, almost filling the park. In some instances, he also says that there's been some noise complaints, trash cans set on fire. So in regards to the pandemic and the other issues, they are closing the park at 9 o'clock nightly. So just to let everyone know. But no new positive cases in McGoffin County. Last night, I aired in telling you that there were 120 new cases of COVID-19 announced yesterday. That was Sunday's total. Last night, it was 90, and we were so fortunate and blessed to hear that there were 0 new deaths. However, tonight's numbers are indeed a stark contrast to those. Today, the governor's office said there were 315 new cases today, and he announced 11 additional deaths of Kentuckians today from the coronavirus, raising that number to 537 lives lost. Just some quick age ranges for you today. A 52-year-old Allen County woman, a 46-year-old Harlan County woman. Others range in age from 77 to 84 to 91 to a 106-year-old Logan County man. Well, let's talk about your weather. It's turned out to clear up. I have the same view in front of me that you have that I have behind me, and yeah, I'm still seeing some blue skies and some partly cloudy skies. Shower chances, even though they're in the forecast, don't look to be too serious for the rest of this evening after we've received more than enough rain for a while. And there's some nice dry days, at least a few, ahead. So let's start off with tonight. Partly cloudy skies, as we have seen for the past few hours. A little blue out there, a little late afternoon sunshine after a rather cloudy and certainly another rainy day. So partly cloudy tonight, 64-year low, and a 30% chance of showers for the rest of your evening, really up until about 9 o'clock at the latest. And I think for the most part, they're already out of here. We'll see some patchy fog later on, and we'll see some winds out of the west at 5 to 7 becoming calm for the rest of your Tuesday. And that means tomorrow is Wednesday, midweek already. We'll top out around 78 degrees tomorrow. That patchy fog will linger up until about 8 o'clock in the morning or so. But mostly sunny skies with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. A pretty narrow window for them, however, mainly between 3 and 5 tomorrow afternoon. So possibly a dry day all the way around. But, like I said, a small shot of some late afternoon showers, maybe some thunderstorms for your Wednesday. Again, 78 and mostly sunny. Thursday is going to be a dry one. Maybe 2 days in a row, could it be? If we get lucky tomorrow, well, that's how it's shaping up. 80 degrees, mostly sunny on your Thursday, partly cloudy that night at a low of 63. And Friday, mostly dry. We've got 83 degrees for the end of the work week, for most everyone, that is. Partly sunny skies and a 30% chance of some showers and storms developing after 3 o'clock in the afternoon on your Friday. 66 for the low that night. Shower chances dwindling by around 8. And then for your Saturday, there it is. 83, partly sunny, a 30% chance of showers and storms after 1 in the afternoon. An increased 40% chance of showers and storms by Saturday night, a low of 66. Sunday, more clouds than sun and better shower chances. Sunday and Monday look a lot alike. Low 80s for highs, mid 60s for lows, mostly cloudy, and a 50% chance of showers both days. And Tuesday, kind of following suit. Right now, more clouds than sun, low 80s, mid 60s, and about a 50% chance of showers again. That's it for tonight. As you heard earlier, already a lot of ground to cover for the rest of this week. I'll be updating you on all these major reports that we have ongoing. And with other news, I hope to see you back here as well tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.